My name's Marcus. I'm 27 and I work IT support at a mid-sized insurance firm in downtown Minneapolis. The kind of job where you reset passwords, explain why turning it off and on actually works, and drink coffee that's been sitting on the burner since 7 a.m. My cubicle sits 3 rows from the window, close enough to know when it's snowing, too far to feel like I'm part of the real world. I rent a 1-bedroom in Uptown, 4th floor walk-up, radiator that clanks at 3 a.m. like it's got something to prove. My weekends are quiet. Groceries on Saturday, laundry on Sunday, maybe a movie if I can't find anything worth starting on Netflix. My mom calls every Tuesday, asks if I'm eating vegetables, if I've met anyone. I tell her work's busy, which is half true, and change the subject. That's where Maya comes in. She started in accounting 6 months ago, desk diagonal from mine across the partition wall. I heard her before I saw her, laugh cutting through the fluorescent hum, bright and startled like she couldn't believe something was actually funny in this place. When I finally looked over, she was pulling her dark hair into a messy bun, pen tucked behind her ear, reading glasses sliding down her nose. We didn't talk much at first, just the polite nods you give coworkers you don't know yet. But our breaks synced up. Both of us bought lunch from the deli on 5th, both ordered the same turkey avocado on wheat. We started sitting at the same table in the break room without discussing it, the one by the window that overlooked the parking garage. She'd spread her lunch out like a ritual. Sandwich unwrapped carefully, chips in a neat pile, napkin folded under the plate. I'd eat standing up until she gestured to the chair across from her. "You're making me nervous," she said. "Sit." So I did. Conversation came easy. She told me about growing up in Chicago, about her cat who only ate food from one specific bowl, about the lake house her family rented every August in Wisconsin. I told her about the server crash last Tuesday, about my nephew's obsession with dinosaurs, about the radiator that wouldn't shut up. She laughed at that, the same bright, startled sound. "You should move," she said. "You should get a boyfriend," I replied without thinking. She paused mid-bite, set her sandwich down, and smiled slow. "I would if you'd just ask." The break room went quiet. Not actually quiet. The microwave still hummed, someone's phone buzzed on the counter, but everything around us felt suspended, like the air before a thunderstorm. I stared at her. She stared back, still smiling, but something careful in her eyes now, waiting to see if I'd laugh it off or lean in. I opened my mouth, closed it, opened it again. I didn't mean, she tilted her head. "I know what you meant. I'm telling you what I mean." My chest felt tight. Not bad tight. The kind you get when you're holding a screwdriver in a live electrical panel and you're pretty sure you're doing it. Right? But not completely sure. I set my sandwich down too, hands flat on the table. "You're serious?" "Why wouldn't I be?" I thought about that. Thought about the 6 months of synchronized lunches, the way she'd saved the comics from the free weekly paper for me, the way I'd started checking my shirt for coffee stains before walking to the break room. "I thought we were just friends," she finished. "We are. Doesn't mean it has to stay that way." She picked up a chip, bit it in half, eyes never leaving mine. "Unless you want it to." The thing is, I did want it to change. Had wanted it for weeks, maybe months, but wanting something and doing something about it are different countries with no bridge between them. I'd convinced myself she was just being nice, that the laughs were polite, that saving the comics was something she'd do for anyone. But now she was sitting across from me, glasses crooked, hair falling out of the bun, telling me I'd been wrong. "Okay," I said. She blinked. "Okay?" "Yeah, okay. Do you want to—" I stopped, started over. "Are you free Friday?" Her smile widened, the careful thing in her eyes softening. "I'm free Friday." "Dinner?" "Dinner works." She picked up her sandwich again, took a bite like we'd just discussed the weather. "I like Italian, not the fancy kind. The kind with red checkered tablecloths and breadsticks you don't have to ask for." I nodded, trying to look calmer than I felt. "I know a place." Friday came with freezing rain, the kind that turns sidewalks into skating rinks and makes you question every life choice that led you outside. I showed up at Marino's 10 minutes early, wearing the one button-down I owned that didn't have a frayed collar. The restaurant smelled like garlic and tomato sauce, Sinatra playing low from speakers older than me. Red checkered tablecloths, exactly like she'd said. Maya arrived at 7:02. Coat dusted with ice, cheeks flushed from the cold. She'd left her hair down, wore a dark green sweater that made her eyes look darker. "You're early," she said, unwinding her scarf. "You're late," I countered. 2 minutes doesn't count." She grinned, slid into the booth across from me. The waiter brought breadsticks without asking. She took one immediately, tore it in half. "See, this is the right kind of place." We ordered pasta, shared a bottle of house red that came in a basket. Conversation flowed the same as the break room, easy and wandering, but with something new underneath, a current. She told me about her college roommate who'd become a competitive eater, about the time she'd accidentally locked herself in a bathroom at a wedding. I told her about the time I'd crashed the entire company server by unplugging the wrong cable, about my dad teaching me to change oil in the driveway when I was 12. "You miss him," she said. It wasn't a question. "Yeah." I drank some wine. "He died 3 years ago. Heart attack. Fast." She reached across the table, fingers, brushing mine. Not holding, just touching. "I'm sorry." "Thanks." We sat like that for a moment, her fingers on mine, breadstick crumbs between us, Sinatra crooning about strangers in the night. The check came. I paid. She didn't argue, just said, "Next one's mine." Outside, the rain had stopped, leaving everything glazed and shining under streetlights. "Walk me to my car?" she asked. Her car was parked 2 blocks away. We walked slow, careful on the ice. At her door, she turned, looked up at me. "This was nice." "Yeah. We should do it again." "Definitely." She stood on her toes, kissed my cheek quick, then slid into the driver's seat before I could react. Window rolled down. "Text me when you get home safe." Then she was gone. Taillights disappearing into the winter night. The texts started that night. Small things. She sent a photo of her cat sleeping in the forbidden bowl. I sent one of my Radiator with the caption, "Still fighting." She replied with a laughing emoji and, "Move already." I said, "Maybe I like the noise." She said, "Or maybe you like complaining to me about it." She was right. The second date was a week later. Coffee shop near Demaca, the kind with mismatched furniture and baristas who remembered your order. We sat by the window, watched joggers slip on the path, talked about nothing important. She had a deadline coming up, reconciliation reports that made her eyes cross. I had a user who kept downloading viruses from emails promising free iPads. "Some people want to watch the world burn," she said. "Some people just want free iPads," I replied. Third date was a movie. One of those quiet dramas she picked. I would have watched anything. After, we walked to her apartment, 8 blocks through snow that fell soft and fat. At her door, she hesitated. "You want to come up?" My heart kicked. "Yeah." Her apartment was small, warm, smelled like vanilla and old books. The cat watched us from the couch, unimpressed. We sat on opposite ends, talked until midnight, until words got slower, and the space between us felt smaller. She leaned her head on my shoulder. I put my arm around her. It felt easy, like we'd done it 100 times before. "I'm glad you made that joke," she said quietly. "About the boyfriend." I smiled into her hair. "I'm glad you didn't let me take it back." We fell asleep like that, the radiator in her place silent, the snow piling up outside, the cat curled between us like a chaperone. When I woke at 3 a.m., she was still there, breathing soft, hand curled in my shirt. I closed my eyes, felt the weight of her against me, and thought maybe this was what people meant when they said home. 3 months later, my lease ended. I moved into her place, radiator silent, the cat finally accepting me. We still eat lunch together, same table by the window. Some things don't need to change. Some things just need to be noticed. And sometimes all it takes is one stupid joke and someone brave enough to answer honestly.